Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about goldenrod. So we have a beautiful goldenrod plant right here, a nice specimen of the Solidago family, which there are at least 3 different varieties that grow here in southern Ontario. And they flower right in and around this time, which would be, depending on which variety, anywhere from mid-August to about early September. And goldenrod tends to get a really bad reputation because everybody blames this plant for seasonal allergies. And of course there's always going to be some people that are allergic to the Solidago family, but the vast majority of you that are, itchy eyes, runny nose, wheezing, sneezing, all that kind of stuff, it's actually not this beauty here that is bothering you. It's ragweed. Ragweed flowers at the exact same time as goldenrod, and everyone confuses this. It's a beautiful, bright, showy plant. But this plant is actually not wind pollinated. The pollen is too heavy to be carried by wind. It can only be carried by insects. So unless, of course, again, you are of that like 1 to 2% of the population that is actually bothered by the Solidago family, it's ragweed that is bugging you. And interestingly enough, often many herbalists will use goldenrod to treat seasonal allergies, along with other herbal allies like elderflower and stinging nettle. So when we harvest these plants in the wild, we want about the top 30 to 40% of the plant. So what I usually do is, I hold the plant up tall, get about halfway up, and then bump up a little bit more. So another area where goldenrod really shines is its detoxifying properties. It helps to support the urinary tract system by being a really great diuretic. It's an excellent anti-rheumatic herb too, so it's going to help with any rheumatoid-based conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, rheumatism, those types of things. Also an excellent lymphatic, so you could infuse this in an oil for a lymphatic type infused oil if you'd like, but of course supporting the lymphatic system and helping to detoxify in that area as well. What I really like goldenrod for is it's one of the few plants that we have that is a prostatic, meaning that it's actually going to help support the prostate, which is so important for, for men, like overall male health. And we have a lot of them here that are early in their flowering season, so I'll get my husband to show you those ones so you can see what they look like before their flowers have come in. Another really amazing area where goldenrod shines is its immune stimulating properties. And we often see this in combination with lymphatic properties because a large portion of our white blood cells are in our lymph. Those two properties tend to go hand in hand, immune stimulating and lymphatic. It's also a decent little fever herb. We use the term febrifuge. And it's a good expectorant too, so helping to loosen the mucus in the lungs so that it makes it easier to expel. So a good ally to have, any time of year. It's a good little antispasmodic as well, having its main focus on the digestive system and overall spasmodic conditions, which again lends to that kind of anti-rheumatic property that I was telling you about before. So this would be a great time to harvest this particular one. These ones are a little bit early, the one my husband just showed you here, so we'll get him to zoom in one more time. In terms of infusing this, say, in a herbal oil, like I mentioned, it would be great for a lymphatic type condition, but it's also a really, really good topical vulnerary, so it's going to help heal cuts, bites, scrapes, stings, wounds, those types of things. It's also a good vascular tonic, working both topically, so for things like hemorrhoids, varicose veins, spider veins, but also working internally to help tone the blood vessels inside the body. It's also a really good styptic, so it's going to help to stop bleeding as well.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, that's true. So we can infuse this one in oil, or we can make tincture. We can also make a tea from it as well, but it does have some. It's got a pretty.
That's goldenrod?
That's goldenrod. Yeah, it's got a pretty strong flavor. So we'll take one more close look and I'll tell you guys about the contraindications of the plant. There really isn't any toxicity known with this plant, but whenever we're on medications, we just have to be cognizant. So whenever a herb has properties, say for example, in this case, it's an immune stimulating herb. If you were on immunosuppressant medication, you would really want to be wary with this. I didn't really touch on this before, but goldenrod's actually a pretty decent little nervine as well, and helping to increase blood flow, both to the brain and to the peripherals of the body, a decent little relaxant and tranquilizer. So if you're on any medications that are mood altering or anything like that, like antidepressants, SSRIs, anxiety medications, again, you just want to be a little bit wary. And because of its detoxifying properties, you wouldn't want to use this during pregnancy or if you are lactating. So we'll take one more close look at goldenrod before we head back. We're actually back at Balsam Lake again, camping one last time before the back to school season starts. We'll take one last look at the one example of the Solidago species that grows here in Ontario. And I believe this one is Solidago canadensis, so Canada goldenrod. So thank you so very much for joining me again on another herb video. I hope to bring you a few more, and as root harvesting season comes, I'll be doing videos. I've had a lot of requests for tincture videos. So I'll make sure to show that process, how I harvest roots and how I make tinctures from them. So until next time, this is Corinne from Spirea Herbs saying thanks and peace.